do this one again.
It looks like it's rolling. Maybe press it against you. Just make sure. Okay, yeah, stop. Okay, you're good.
Okay guys, here we go. Anthony, ready to store it. What we're going to do guys, we're going to go through removing oil from cannabis. And last week as well, we did something. We did our run, it's kept in the funnel here, and I'm going to be showing you how to remove the remaining goods in there. And so you don't waste anything. So we've probably removed about, I'd say 85 to maybe 90% of the constituents that is good medicine. Those things that get you high, and we're going to remove the rest through like a heat extraction or infusion. People call it Big Simpson oil. Not so dirty, bro. Okay. Now what we're going to do is we don't have the fridge here, so what we're going to do is what we're going to do is because we don't have fridges, we're going to be using liquid nitrogen to cool everything down. So I will just get it cool down here. We're going to be doing our plant matter. First thing is I do the plant matter very, very fine, which I say almost a color. Cool that down. So everything's in there, and freezers. A good freezer, maybe just normal chest freezer because all the cold drops. Line it with some insulation, and then fill it with dry ice, and you're good to go. You'll probably be at -40, which here we go. A bit of liquid hydrogen. Give it about 5 minutes or so. And while that's cooling down, and we've got this guy going here as well, which is going to be a Harlequin 2-to-1, and I did the oil. It was around about -40. Then we've got probably about 3/4 of a gallon in here, and it was about 322 grams, I think it was, and that was flour. So we're going to run that down. I'm going to show you at the end of the show, or the hour, whatever it is, what we have left in there. What else? I ran a sample this morning. It was about 150 mil, so I can get it tested by the lab next door. So we'll get that tested, you know, through this next hour and show you what the counts are for the Harlequin that's in here. But anyway, let's go to this guy. To chop up your plant material, I wouldn't buy anything new. Just go to your, second-hand shop. What I found is the Ninja. Yeah, pretty shitty job for doing juices, but great for doing weed. I'll just get some power here. I'm not pulling anything out. So what you do is basically powder the plant material as much as you possibly can. Here we go here. Good. We're going to be testing like this. Okay, how much material are we going to do? Well, because we're going to be using tube, and I would say the coffee drip, I would say we're going to be probably 3, 4, 5 ounces. So I'll just probably fill that entire thing, bring it down to a powder, and then just fill both or 3 of those units. And show you how each unit is different. We've got the long tubes, which is a little different to, I would say, the coffee maker. So basically, tubes you can basically keep them contained, keep them in the freezer a little bit longer, and at a much colder rate, and then you can shake the crap out of it to really loosen up the cannabinoids at that cold. The other ones you really can't do all that because of, it's just a plug straight down. Anyway, so I'm finding it. We'll see in the next month or so, trying it out, a few more times and see which one's more beneficial. Either shaking the tube or just having the coffee maker do it. So find out. So here we go. We've got plant material here. Okay. Just fill the sucker up. And what I'm putting in here, guys, is just, it's pretty much shaking. So all the trimming tables that chop down the flour is caught usually all this trimming. So there's a lot of, definitely trichomes and whatnot. So we'll see what the resin count is once we do it. Okay. And a good thing when you're doing this as well, guys, keep the plant material as dry as possible. Okay, she's a bit noisy. Is we're going to be bring this plant material like so. We have that. Okay, what we're going to do now, guys, is we're going to cool it down. If you are using liquid nitrogen, don't have the liquid nitrogen come in contact with the plant material because you won't have any plant material left. If I pour that liquid nitrogen in your plant material, everyone will be sniffing it. It'll be like a snuff. So basically all you do is grab this, put it in like so, if you're using liquid nitrogen, then give it in here. Okay, we'll leave it in there for about another 5 minutes. Now you're going to chill everything down really cold. And I'll just show you this as well, guys. That's alcohol. And it freezes about 172, minus 172. So you can see the liquid nitrogen sitting on top. That alcohol is frozen. So again, the reason I've done this is because it's keeping my chest freezer really cold. This is, how would I say, a great transfer. Alcohol is a great transfer of the cooler. So better than dry ice. That's 190 proof in there as well. Okay. Back in a tick, I'm going to go and get the Harlequin that I've taken down the oil. I'm going to show you guys, and then we're going to take it to market next door and get it tested. And with this guy. And what we're doing as well, we're going to be recycling this alcohol over the Harlequin spent material. So like I said, we've probably removed about 80%, 85%, maybe 90%, we'll see. And then I'll have this alcohol dripping straight from here onto the plant material from the Harlequin. So then we do our infusion, which turns out to a much better quality of an aerosol. There we go.
Rock, by the way.
What's your name?
Rock.
Rock, I'm Mike.
Mike.
Mike. Nice to meet you.
And stuff.
Yeah, just maybe running out. I'm actually Harley. Dane and I were doing that together. So, yeah. Actually, I get it. He's doing some work with it. And then I haven't received my language yet, but I have one of them. So, yeah. Really fun chat. Learn good stuff.
One night. Second time in all that's cool. Yeah, travel there, or
Pretty local. Yeah. You know, my testing done here in the day.
Okay guys, back. Anyway, next door the lab is busy for the next 5 minutes to run this, so we're just going to hang on for 5 minutes. Anyway, this is it. So I probably put out around 150 mil. And that was left, this is all the oil that was left out of that 150 mil. So if you want to do a calculation like how much you're getting per gallon or per 10 gallons or per 100 gallons, just take out a sample and dehydrate it down, and you're left with your oil, and then you calculate it, you know, to every 150 mil, and then divide it, multiply it, and then you'll come up with your figure. Okay, best way to do it. So anyway, that's fine. Don't push your figure there to get your I'll pick it up in the test. Nice colour?
Yeah.
You can show on the film as well. Can you see it on the film?
Nice. Yeah, that smells great.
Okay, so this is cooking. We're about 124 on this, so the harlequin's in here. The most important thing too, if it's fairly good bud, again, always get your bud tested before you run it. So it just gives you sort of sort of an understanding of how much you're going to get in return. It doesn't always work out that way, but it gives you sort of a bearing. So we've got it in here. So it's coming up to 125. I'm going to be running this fairly slow, so we may not even complete it within the next hour or so. So an oil like this, especially harlequin, especially the CBD, is you want to try and keep its integrity, not burning it too much. So we're just going to keep the temperatures just right where we're just vaporing off the alcohol, trying to keep most of the profile there of the terpenes, and see what happens. Again, doing it this route, a lot of people are going to say you're going to lose a lot of your terpenes. Through cooking off the alcohol at this temperature, but anyway, I say proof's in the pudding, because if you taste the product, terpenes are still left in it. So, anyway, we'll check the freezer. Okie dokie. Here we go. I might even soften this as well so they can see it. Hey guys, can you see on the screen? Okay, so in here, as you can see, we've got the liquid nitrogen, we've got the plant, which are all underneath there. Okay. So we have our alcohol that we're going to be using. There's the frozen alcohol that's giving you the cold here. So you can see this is just solid as a rock. Okay, what I'm going to do is I'm going to get a temperature gun. This comes with the weed witch outfit as well. So if you do buy the weed witch, that's again, all this stuff here. We can go through that later. This comes with it. Okay, so our temperatures here are -11. Okay, well, that's super low. And again low. And the temperatures of the units, this is most important, guys. You've got to keep these super low. This is not low enough. This is 42. But the in-house is low. Let's have a look. So what we're going to do, we're going to get in some liquid nitrogen here, and we're going to be cooling everything down. So, pour it in there. Close that. And get that one. Liquid nitrogen. Again, you know, you've got a really good freezer, well, you don't need to do this. Or you just wait 10, 12 hours for everything to cool down. Now, remember me telling you before not to pour too much in the plant material? Let's try it. Now, I've done this a few times, so if we do it really carefully, sometimes it works. See, I've already chilled it down just a tad. Just skip it up a bit. Oh, there we go. That's how I get covered in this. And what I'm going to do too, with the liquid nitrogen going down the bottom as well, when I mix alcohol within this, it's going to agitate it. You see what I mean? We call it like the witch's pot. It brews. Yeah, that should be plenty. There we go. Let that sit for a tad. The alcohol, I'm going to cool down just a little more. Dropped, you know, definitely all the way down to -18, so we're doing quite good here. So I'll check the temperature out good. Yeah, temperature is good. So we're ready just about to go, guys.
So you have plant material in the coffee presses right now?
No, I don't. I have it here, just tubes. Yeah. See, what I'm going to do, there's plenty of ways of doing it. You can put the plant material in there now, or you can do everything in your basket or your holding basket. Stir it up with the alcohol, and then you can pour it in each one. You know, there's so many ways of doing it. You don't, you know, it's really up to you. If you're doing those smaller units, it's going to take a little bit more time to put plant material in them, then put alcohol in them. Just mix it already up.
And then once you have your alcohol in there, then you can have liquid nitrogen in your temperature.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. The temperature's everything. Absolutely. The temperature has got to be solid. Measure the vessel, just everything. And even when you're going in the fridge, try and suit up. Is your body temperature?
Yeah.
It's everything.
Yeah.
It's just, you just don't know how much you're playing with in the environment. If you keep it super solid, you're guaranteed to get a great product.
Nice.
Yeah. And we're going to get that thing tested in about a couple of minutes. Mark's going to come in. It's going to be interesting to see what counts you got.
Yeah, it smells great though. Just sweet.
Yeah. Okay, so there we have it. Cool, this guy a little more. There you go, you're seeing the alcohol freeze here. And like I say, it's quite amazing that alcohol vapors off at 172 and freezes at 172, so it's quite interesting. So there we have it. Quite cold. Now I've got this really cold here, I can show you what I'm doing. So we're going to be pouring this in here. Mixing it with the plant material. Here. Like I was saying before, you had the witch's pot. So you can see in here, you can see a bubble. So it's actually moving the plant material around, and you know, it's actually it's homogenizing the alcohol within the liquid nitrogen. It's bubbling, so you don't need to stir it. It's like the witch's pot. That's more gas. Just using this, just pulling it out my freezer. There we go. Mix a little more. And again, if you've got your freezers all set up for this, you don't need to do this outside. You'll be doing this in your freezer. But again, we don't have the privilege of time here. So there we go. We're mixing the plant material and the alcohol together. As you can see, it's that cold. Most of the alcohol, or the percentage of the water is frozen. So I'll let that sit for 5 minutes. Hey guys, how are you? Hey, how are you? Any questions, anyone? Go for it. Now Mark, I have got a test for you to do as well, brother. Where was that harlequin? There we go. He did. Hey guys, I'm just going to get this tested. We'll be back in a tick. Do we want to bring a camera with us? Yeah, we're going to get something tested here, guys. It's probably a good time to come. This is a harlequin, and they say it's a 2 to 1. We're going to find out if it is. So here we go. You want to come down and look at this, guys? you going? So what do you want to learn today? So I just want the normal run here. Is that what you're coming to learn? Yeah. Yeah, well, we'll just quickly go through it. Like, this goes, basically I use stream it, you know, so it just allows people to see real life time doing a cannabis run. So I'm just going to go through this now. If you've got any questions through the run, just please ask. So, everything's cooled down to the tad now. So we can see here, the alcohol is still pretty stiff. What we'll do is we're going to put some more alcohol in it. I'm going to cool this down. And have you done any distilling before?
No.
Oh, okay.
No, my
Quite easy.
sister did distilling, but she did the kitchen version of
Oh,
distilling.
okay.
I don't think I want to do that.
Yes, no.
So that's why I found out that you have machines.
Yeah, absolutely. All it is just, it just allows you, like what it's doing now. We've got Harlequin in here. It's probably 3/4 of a gallon. 320. It was about 322 grams. Is that correct? Yeah. So it's and then basically now we're saving our alcohol because we're just putting it back over the spent plant material, which was the material that I used to get the oil from in there. So what I'm doing is I remove probably 85% of all the good oil, which is a little sample of it there. You can smell that. And yeah, so all of that is in here. And then what I do is probably about 15-20% of maybe the chlorophyll, it's still got plant constituents of THC in it, and then I'm just going to make rid of everything that's left. You got waxes and plant fats, and so good for topical or suppository. Yeah, so you don't waste nothing. Yeah, absolutely, don't waste nothing. No, there's still stuff left. Absolutely. If I got that tested, if we did, if we ran that, if we winterized it just once, you'd probably get it up to around about 55 to 60% THC. So yeah, but it's got a lot of chlorophyll, so it may give you an upset tummy if you eat too much of it. Anyway, well, let's just cool down a bit. But yeah, it's quite simple. Basically, the unit looks after itself. When you want to, another way of doing your Rick Simpson style is you'll have your plant material inside the pot. You pour the alcohol in there, and you turn the tap off. When you turn the tap off, it stops the alcohol here, and it returns the alcohol back down in here. So it just reticulates. So you can reticulate the alcohol over your plant material. And then what you do is then it's a pretty crude way of removing your oil, but very efficient.
You said that isopropyl alcohol is what do you use with this? Methyl
Oh,
alcohol?
you don't want to use isopropyl.
No, you said you don't use that.
No, you want to use alcohol that you've made.
Okay.
Like you can use red wine, you can make it, or you can go and buy it down in Oregon.
What?
190 down in Oregon. They call it Everclear.
Oh yeah, Everclear.
Yeah,
Oh, okay.
It's
great.
great. Well, that's it because it's grade 190.
Yes, I know.
Yeah,
This is
it's-
for herbal things.
Yeah, absolutely. Because
Okay.
it's the 190 that you want, because meaning it's only got the 190 means it's only got the 5% of the moisture left in it, which is so it's very dry alcohol.
So the 95.
Yeah, absolutely. And then basically get yourself a freezer box, and then re-insulate the insides, and with your pink foam, and then just depends on how big your box is. You can put it in compartments, like every 12 to 15 inches.
And what is it? What are the boxes?
So basically, you can do all your extractions in it if you want to keep them cold, like what I'm doing here.
Oh,
So you're not interrupting the whole fridge. You've got it in compartments. Very smart. And then, if you don't want to do that route, you just want to go to the very good fridges. You can get Revco -85, and they'll keep everything at -85, and they're in compartments. So you don't disturb one compartment to the next. And if you do that, you just get a very pure product. Yeah. So we're just about right here, and I'm going to pour the rest of this in here. So what we're doing now is we're just combining most of the alcohol that we've had into this plant material, and then we're going to agitate it. And you're going to see it's starting to change colour here. So I'll bring it over to you just to have a look. And another thing as well is oxygen is not your friend either. So the thing about this, oxygen is definitely not your friend. So if you're not using liquid nitrogen or dry ice, try and keep the air out. There we have it. Okay, the temperature. Okay, so we're below 65 minus. Yeah, it's quite cold, 65 minus. What we're going to do is we're going to get some filters. Okay, so basically the filters come with the Weed Witch box, and you get a box of these guys, and if you need to get them again, if anyone wants to buy them, just get them from Passion Pro. We have it. Okay, so what we're going to do now, just pour a little bit of liquid nitrogen in there, and cool everything down. Okay, and then we're just pouring everything in. And there we have it, guys. And it's good too, when you've got your normal fridge box here, basically it's just allows you a little bit more time you can do this with, you know, and the colder the box the better. And when you're doing this too, always protect your gloves and don't have bare skin in it, especially at these temperatures. So that's that. Now what we're going to see is we're going to be seeing nice oil coming through. So this, what I've just done here is basically I'm doing my first extraction, which I class as the first run, and it's the first pull. So basically I mixed all my alcohol into this unit here with the plant material, and then poured it straight into the funnel, and then running my alcohol off. What I'm doing there is I'm just getting a little bit of alcohol, and it's got most of your flavonoids and your terpenes, which are water soluble. You're pulling everything, and just it's such a nice clean oil. What I do is I let that naturally evaporate, so I keep most of all my constituents there, especially the terpene profile. And then what I do is then I remix that into my oil that I cook off later. So you're just adding more flavors to your product. And you got that? Yeah. You know, see, a lot of people they like adding artificial terpenes to a product, and you don't need them. You know, if you just play it smart by doing your run, like when you situate your runs with your fridges, so you make sure that you've got your. You want to do a whole plant extraction. You don't want to just do your leaves or your bud. You want to do everything. So when you've done that, when you extract it, when you get the plant material all broken down and turned to dust, and then you have your containers. When you do your first run, first pull, you do that with the entirety of. So if you've got like 20 pounds, you're probably going to need about. So if you've got 20 pounds, you're probably going to need about 15 gallons, just enough to soak it and wet it. Mingle in, it looks like quicksand, and then you filter it, and you'll just have probably, you may end up with maybe 3/4 of a gallon of this incredible thick profile, and that's what you keep and dehydrate naturally. So it's a THCA or a CBDA. It's not activated. And then what you do is then when you've done all your other oil, then you reintroduce. And it's enough. It's just me telling you that. It'll take you years to figure out. There's different ways of blending, and you'll find that out through time and mistakes. So don't use the good stuff first. Yeah, you're getting your world hurt, man. But it's temperatures. If you keep your temperatures low, you can't mess up. Anyway, so as I was saying to you before, we're going to now turn the tap on. And now what we're doing is we're now releasing the alcohol from the unit. So now we're taking everything out of here. So you've got a choice to keep it in there, and recycle it over your plant material, if there was plant material in it. But what we're doing now is we're exhausting the alcohol out because we want to return it over this plant material. And then when you've done this, you stick it in the freezer, take the plant material away, filter it in the freezer, and you've got a good quality cookie, a good oil that you can cook with, make cookies, whatever. And people throw that away. It's crazy. Spend a lot of time growing it, and that's the material there. It's not even good material. And with this oil that you'll make out of it, you can take it up to about the 85 to 90. Very strong. Super strong. I mean, you don't need very much, so. And then what you can do with that as well is you can do that. You can turn it into a vape pen.
Oh.
Yeah, so the quality of this, if you put that, you can put this straight into a vape pen, and that'll taste exactly like the flower, like you're smoking a joint. There's no difference. This will be a little stronger in flavor.
So what's the cooling part about? Because I think that
Cooling part because you're cooling everything down so you don't release the chlorophyll and the waxes and the fats. Because
so
what you're doing is you're locking nature up to release the oil. So you're closing the door on all the plant constituents except for THC, CBD. Yep. And that releases. Yeah, so the terpenes and flavonoids. And you can play with temperature because different temperatures release different flavors. It's really interesting. And different proofs. Yep.
So how much is one of those babies?
These are 15 and 1500. They come with still. They come with. I'm going to show you the tube, which will be in here, which I'll show you. The last tube comes with all your filters, just temperature gauges, racks. Yeah, just look on the videos. There's plenty of videos using all the stuff I put in there.
I just walk.
Yeah.
And would it come with instructions, I'm sure, right?
Yeah, absolutely. I do plenty of videos like the one I'm doing right now. So there's plenty of just feedback, different ways I've done it. Because there's not one way to do this. There's so many ways. People get caught up on this. There's only one way to do something. Absolutely not. So anyway, so we've done this here. We've removed most of, I would class, the oil that I'm looking for. And I'm going to show you it now. So there we go, guys. That's what came out of that material. So a lot of oil in that. And then what we do now is we're going to remove the chlorophyll. Well, the past chlorophyll in there. And this is what they class as winterization, guys. You'll probably hear that a lot. And winterization, all you're doing is just cooling everything down, so you're just locking up the plant constituents. And that's it. Just pour this in here. And that's just classed as winterization. Okay. So you'll see just all the debris. When all this passes through, you see all the debris and just some plant material left behind. And then you'll have nice oil at the other end. And I'm going to bring another. Hey, man, you got to. Oh, you're going to hang back in a half an hour.
Oh, yeah.
Anthony, does it all have to be dry? Does it all have to be dry?
Does it have to be dry plant material? No.
It can be fresh?
It can be fresh material, but if you use fresh material, I wouldn't use fresh material with good 190 proof alcohol. Because if you're going to put fresh material, it's already got a moisture content of probably 60% moisture. That 60% moisture will go in your alcohol and ruin it. So it's going to bring the proof down in your alcohol. So the drier your plant material, the better for your alcohol. Because you're paying money for alcohol. If you're not making it yourself, you're paying $400 for every 5 gallons. $2,500 for 50. It's just a lot of money. So the drier, the
The
better.
better.
Absolutely.
Okay, gotcha.
Absolutely.
Okay,
It's
so,
bone dry.
all right. So if I want one, what do I have to do? How can you do like right now?
Yeah, for sure. Absolutely. Well, I'm just filming for the next 30 minutes. If you can
Okay,
just
so
hang
you
on a tick,
film,
Rob.
You film and then
Yeah.
we'll do that.
Yeah, and if you've got any questions on the way through this, it's all quite simple.
Okay.
So that stuff you just poured through there still has the THCA, CBD in there. And you put it aside. Would it bring it back if I heat it up?
Absolutely. Absolutely.
It's going to what you're saying, it's going to maintain its good terpene flavor.
Absolutely. There's a slight way of cooking this down. You know, the reason I choose not to use any heat on this, it's just giving you another, how would I say, a synergy effect of the entire plant. Because now you've introduced the THCA to a THC product. It's already, you've lost already the carbon. So maybe there may be effect there, because when you smoke flower, you know, especially when you age it, some of it's turned and some of it's not. So you've still got the THCA and the THC. So I don't know. It's just I'm trying to keep everything as true to the flower of the bud. You know, so like smoke. Because that's what I do. I smoke joints. So I'm trying to get people to know what it's like to smoke a real good bud in a joint. People don't know that. Because they're introducing fucking PG, they're introducing flavors. Who knows? And it's all coming from China. And lavender, which is fucking poisonous. And they're putting in vape pens. People are smoking it. So this is the way to do it naturally. So simple. Yeah. You'll never smoke anyone else's product. Once you smoke something like that, it's because you just got the entire plant.
Can we leave some of that just straight oil? That's
Oh,
awesome.
you mean like this?
Yeah.
Oh, absolutely. Well, this is what we cook.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so I'm already turning it from THCA into THC. I just brought this sample in, so I didn't have to wait all day to get a sample next door.
Right.
Yeah,
But
but it's pretty cool, and it's a beautiful color, and it really represents a high quality CBD. Because it always got that sunset gold color.
Now, what do you got going on in the still when you say you're cooking it?
Okay, so basically what I'll do is I'll turn it off and show you what's going on in here. Yeah, I ran 322 grams of harlequin through about 3/4 of a gallon, and I just did 1, 2, 3. I probably did 3 runs, and a run is basically when I use new alcohol. And then I did certain pulls through those runs. So I probably ran alcohol through that plant material probably about 7 times. So I really condensed all the cannabinoids in a small space of alcohol. Because, you know, alcohol's money, so you want to try and use that alcohol over and over again. And if you reticulate it over, yeah, we just get more concentrate. So that's alcohol.
So how much alcohol do you think's in there with that?
Well, see, that's 150 milligrams of alcohol. So if there's 3/4 of a gallon of alcohol, and you multiply this by how much alcohol is in there, I use 150 milligrams. That'll give you how much oil's in there. So once you work out those figures, that's why I'm saying do a test batch. And then you can calculate, you know, your 10, 20, 100 gallons, how much oil would be in that 100 gallons. And you will have a bit of loss through here. You know, sometimes when you lose those terpenes over a period, especially a large mass, it's mass. So you're going to lose weight.
What temperature ranges are you running inside there?
Well, you read it 174. Flash point of alcohol. Flash point of alcohol is 172. So yeah. But anyway, we'll have a look in here. I'll bring this around. It's going to be a little bit stinky, guys, but you can come on out and have a look. It's a really beautiful, gold color. I don't know if you can see that, but it's a pretty amazing color. And when the hour and a half's taken place, all that oil's been decarboxylated, so it's going to be very strong with you. turn to 11 hydroxy, and then you can see it there. Pretty strong stuff. So yeah, that'll cook all the way down. And how much would be in here? Well, I don't know how strong the flour was. If the flour was 20%, well, for every 100 grams, you'd be getting 20.
Now, when you originally did the bowl with the alcohol,
Yep.
what vessel did you have it in? Was it done in the?
Oh yeah, absolutely, and I'll show you exactly. I just have different fridges. We're going to have some of the fridges here, but just showing you here exactly if you had a box or a bigger fridge, yeah, it's the same. Absolutely same.
So that's about an hour and a half cook off, you said?
About an hour and a half cook off. This one I'm going to do a little longer. Yeah, always, when I ever get hold of CBD product, I just try and do a really nice job on the end of it because it's a nice oil. I like this amount of CBD oil. It's totally different than the THC. Just the way it plays, the way it's a lot rainier. But yeah, getting to your question, mate, with the fridges. And you can either go the route of a -85 Redco freezer for about 21 grand, 25 grand brand new. If you don't want a brand new, then you pick them up second hand for anywhere between 2,000 to 5,000. Just make sure that the presses are working. It's too. And they're about 21 cubic feet. So the fridge is great. And they're in 5 compartments. So you can do 5 different runs. You can do a Harlequin, an ACDC.
So you're just chilling the plant matter.
Chilling the plant material. Yeah.
Chilling the alcohol.
Yeah.
Putting them together, chilling that, then filter. And then going here for reduction.
Absolutely. Yeah. It's all about, it's recirculating the alcohol over the plant material. Absolutely. And I'm bringing something out soon, and we'll leave it at that. And it's actually going to do all the reticulation in the fridge. So basically what you do is you put your plant material in the fridge, and it will run through 2 systems, running through filtration, and then through the final filtration, then you finish product. And you just do a cook off. Absolutely. And that'll do up to 45 pounds. That's the head of it.
And that's made it up with one of those Redco units?
Absolutely, yeah. And people are spending $160,000 on CO2 machines. Yeah, well, basically for a price of a Redco freezer, one of my units that are coming out, you can scale up and do 10 times the amount of that $160,000 unit for 1/10 of the cost. It's pretty crazy. There's a lot of money wasted. And you know what? Alcohol does a great extraction. It's all temperature. And they think it's hard, but it's not. It's just technique. It's technique. Maybe a little bit more manual labor. And it's not just turning the plug and watching it dry. That's the only difference. Yeah, and the good thing about this as well, you're getting a whole constituent plant. So your CO2 and BHO are giving you a slice. So their windows are very tight. They've only got a certain temperature they're cooling from, and the hydrocarbon is only cooling a certain pull through that plant material. With alcohol, I can change it from -80. I can change it from 150 all the way down to 0. So I've got a full control of the plant, and then I can choose which part of the plant I want. Pretty cool. And then what you do is you sew that all together. So if you're getting towards the end, you may get into more the goldish lime greens. And, it depends what you do when you get your test results back, showing you what's in that part. And then you can blend. That's where it gets really cool, because then you can blend the entirety of the plant. Because there are different parts that come through. CO2 and BHO, you can't do that. And I'll tell you, if you smoke a really good oil through this process, and it's around about, I just did one for the Green Brothers, it's a 5x2, and I think it came out to 93%. And that's a full package there, so when you smoke it, you can smoke it. It's just like, instead of having eight puffs of a vape pen, you're probably having one or two. It's better for the consumer, nice product. And you're getting, you're getting money for it. It's so simple. Alcohol is, I think it's been overlooked. Have you ever smoked that alcohol product?
Oh God, yeah. I've been making it a long time, just your standard 5-gallon bucket of stick in a rice cooker.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's much cleaner because, especially if you winterize it, and that product is so smooth. So smooth. You won't even know you're smoking. Absolutely not. And the good thing about it, there's no VG in it, there's no PG, because the good thing about alcohol, it just keeps it keeps the oil in such a nice state. So when you're rendering it down, you still got a lot of pain. And then if you want to loosen it up, you can use an added terpene, like maybe a limonene, to loosen it up just a little bit for your vape pen, and that's it. So there's no chemicals. Especially if you've made the limonene yourself by getting lime, rendering it down through the weed ridge and making your own lemon oil. And then you reintroduce it into your paint or your oil. So now you've made everything. And that's where I think that's where the market needs to go. People should do this themselves. It's not that hard. It may be time consuming, but the quality of the oil, you'll never smoke any other. You just be very, very, how do I say it, a little choosy.
Homemade bread.
That's it, yeah, and it's a big difference. It's amazing when people are being medicated with this, especially when you get into the CBDs, especially when no one smoked the CBD. It's amazing to hear them talk about how much of it's a body effect. It's really interesting. Really powerful. But anyway, we'll get into this one. So we're going to go through the tubes now. And that's to show you the oil, guys, that came through that. And that's just this leaf material. So basically you'll winterize it a little more, cook that down, and out of that small amount, you may end up with probably about 10 plus grams of a small amount. Actually, no, probably less. Quite easy. Okay, now we're just going to be...
how much material can you make?
How much material can you do at once?
Yeah. How much material do you do for what you have there?
Here?
Yeah.
Okay, let me ask your next question. How much material do you have?
Well, I don't have any at the moment.
Okay, because one weed witch will take care of a lot of material.
What?
Will take care of a lot of material, because basically a weed witch is just breaking down your plant material. It's just returning your alcohol from your plant material. So I would say a weed witch would get rid of 25 pounds a week every week. So you do a lot of material.
Now the question is how many material you need to produce, and
Like, how much do you have to put into the machine for your machine?
As much or as less as you want.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, there is no, there's no right figure on here. You can have a little amount or you can have a big amount. Yes. Okay, so that was the oil from before. So you can see that's a nice gold color. It's because of temperatures. This is what I'm going to show you. This is the most important thing you're ever going to learn, ever. Now you remember my first pull. Okay, that was my first run, first pull. That was I would say, still my first run, but it's my second pull. Remember, because it was over a colder alcohol. This was much colder than this. Look at the color difference. One super gold. It's temperature. That's all it is. Temperature and nature, and just the air is mingled with this plant material. So look at the color of that. That's see-through gold. It's absolutely gorgeous. Temperature, everything. you have it. And then again, you know, and I wouldn't separate these two. When I clean them both up, I would mingle them both. Because they've both got two different parts. Who knows what I got? And why would you want to separate the plant anyway? All you're doing is you're just trying to get the best of the plant material and put it all together. Without those, you know, those harsh, I would say plant materials that make you cough. You know, but me saying that, I prefer smoking joints. I don't smoke Marlboro. It's too strong. Yeah. Anyway, so this is how simple it is. So remember the filter I just got out, and that's it. I'm just putting it in this, and all the alcohol coming out there is just going straight back in here. And then basically when the alcohol fills up, it's mingling with the plant material, and you're getting the rest of the constituents out. And you can already see it now. Nice and green. It'll be just like your RSO. Pretty cool. So I've done that. Now what I'm going to show you is I'm going to take out more oil from this plant material. I'm going to show you now. So all I'm doing, this is going to be the same run, same alcohol, but it's going to be a second pull. So now I'm reintroducing the alcohol back into it. I class that as a second pull. So what I'm doing is just reticulating that material, or the alcohol, both the same plant material, so it's going to end up darker. And the thing with that as well, you've got to watch out for that you don't reintroduce different temperatures, you may get closer. That's it. So there you go. Back in there. So you understand what that is? I've got the alcohol I used once, which is my first run, first pull, and then it came through that dark green color, which was the first one, and then I put that back through the plant material in those two vessels, leave it there for 5 minutes, and now what we've done, we've taken, let's say if we drew a scale, so the first alcohol that went through that plant material, you're getting around about 30-40% of the cannabis oil. The next time I get that same alcohol and I run that through the same plant material, I'm going to get probably about another 20% more. But then there's a fine line. How many times do you reintroduce it before you get caught? And that's what you've got to work on. Temperature. Yeah, so, and it just saves you alcohol. So you don't have to buy so much alcohol. You just keep reusing it. And if you're looking for fridges too, cheap fridges, just go onto Craigslist and look for the old chest fridges.
I have a freezer.
Yeah, because they're built so well in the old days.
Oh yeah.
Great compressors, just get it regassed.
Yeah, I've got it.
Yeah, they are. Yeah, and then what I do is I re-insulate the inside.
Re-insulate it?
Absolutely, yeah, absolutely. And then what I do,
insulate it,
yeah, just a pink foam. You get home from Home Depot.
That makes it more cool?
Oh, absolutely, because you've got another barrier on the internal. So when you're keeping it cold with the dry ice.
Oh.
Yeah, absolutely. And then what I do is once I've done that, and then I make a lid about 3 inches thick.
Well, do I have to put dry ice in there if I just have
Nope.
it on?
No, that means you're going to have minus 15. Absolutely, you're going to have chlorophyll maybe coming
I
through.
mean, I used it for meat, for freezing the meat off.
Yeah.
So.
Well, just try it out. Try it without, yeah, absolutely.
Okay.
Try it without dry ice, and then try it with dry ice. And then you'll see the difference. You see the difference between the two jars?
Yeah.
One being green, one being
Is
gold.
that, what is that?
That's temperature.
So if it can be freezing, but if it's more cold than freezing, it'll do that?
Absolutely. Just imagine a Japanese fan. Japanese fan stands up, say if I pulled out a fan and there was all different colors. If I went to 172 minus, alcohol's frozen, of course it's pretty hard to mingle that with plant material. So just say if you're coming back to 150, that oil will come out very, very clear. And then if you go from the minus 150 all the way up to doing this method, which is a dark green, in between minus 150 all the way down to 172, there is different colours. So 172 will be very dark emerald racing green, and then you're going green, green, light green, then into the golds. So the colder you get it, the tighter the window.
Okay, got it.
Yeah, so you're not letting so much through.
Okay, so.
You're locking up the plant.
Yeah,
And you
it's
can do that with all
it's
the plants.
frozen, it's frozen, I think that you may get like more frozen.
Oh, you can, yeah, because
You get
alcohol
more,
freezes at minus 172.
Oh,
So
so.
when you look at alcohol as it was then, that's minus 172. It's pretty cold. It's really cold.
Do you have any recommendations as far as poundage of dry ice per cooler size so that you can lay into it?
That's a great question. I use, if I have just a normal big 8-footer where we were in there and it had no mindset, actually I think it's the big broke down. We used 8 blocks, 8 10-pound blocks, and it lasted 3 days. Yeah, but if you don't insulate it, it won't last for 3 days. I mean, if it's insulated, probably, quite well. And we get 3 days use out of it.
Do you try anything with those really high-end coolers like the Yeti brand that
No, I
have
haven't.
the extra insulation built in with the vacuum chamber?
No, I haven't seen it. No.
Those are
Right. So where do you get them from?
commercial fishing outfit.
Oh wow, I want to look into it. So how cold are they before you even do any goodness?
Well, it's just it's the function of the insulation. You know how like the coffee thermoses that instead of having insulation, there's actually a vacuum layer in there so that the heat can't pass through the vacuum.
yeah.
There's a layer like that in the cooler, and you pay for it.
Okay.
You know, it's an $800 cooler.
But geez, it's hard. It's easy to put a vacuum. If that theory works, then why can't you build already something made of aluminum or stainless steel, just a box within a box, and then you sunk it down to whatever tall?
Oh, and you could. It's not the actual inside that's a vacuum. It's there's
Yeah, the layers.
Mhm.
Yeah, the layers. So
And
you could. So what you're doing is just building a box within a box.
Exactly,
Yeah.
but it's that thick, and it behaves like it's that thick of pink foam. So it's just a convenience.
Yeah, that's great technology.
Yeah.
I didn't even know that. You just told me something that's great.
Oh, yeah, it's meant just for if you're packing in commercial fishing, you get your ice out there, get the fish on ice so they make it back to the cannery and make the grade.
So what happens if you're building a super chilled cylinder? So that means you would take the outer core and bring it right down under the core. You know, if you brought the pressure right down where you've got a great vacuum in there, that'll make that vessel exactly the same.
Exactly.
Because that's what I'm looking to do. You just answered one of my big questions.
Oh yeah. Well, there's a brainstorming.
Yeah, that's fantastic. That's awesome. Yeah, this and the good thing about this as well, guys, just to let you know, this will cook. This will give you an extraction, not only alcohol, but you can do a water extraction too if you wish. Oh well, sometimes you can brew the plant material, like if you're doing a lavender, and you cut the lavender down, and you put a little bit of water in here, and you put a little tray there, put all your plant material on that, and you can extract the lavender.
Oh, wow.
If you don't want to do it that way, this comes with the cylinders as well. I'll show you before I do this, but what you do, it comes with a stainless steel one, it comes with a glass one, and then what you can do is you can fill this up with lavender or your lemon or lime. Your lemon, lime, whatever it may be, and then you can put it there, and then when you've got the water in here, that water will cook, the vapors will go through your lavender or your lemon, and out through here will come the oil, or your hydrosol. And then that's what you can mix in with your cannabis.
Steam
Yeah,
distilling?
so is that?
Steam?
Absolutely, yeah, I've got some here for you to smell.
Essential oil.
Yeah, I've got some here to play. You don't really like these guys. Oh yeah, you gotta love these. Have a smell of these ones. These are the real deal. Smell that. These are the real deal. There's no bullshit there. So that's the real deal, guys.
Keep the same cups on the same way.
Oh, I don't smell. And look, I'm not really fussy.
You're not very
terpenes.
reciprocating either.
No.
Sometimes they'll be like, oh.
Nah. Hey, you know, when you go and smell flowers, it doesn't say don't touch me with another flower.
Touching me with another one.
Yeah.
Yeah,
But anyway, so that's the great thing with these vessels. So you get 2 of these within the weed witch, and yeah.
Any guess on how much, say if I stuff that full of dry lavender, how many milliliters of oil?
Well, you get about a 2% return.
Okay.
Yeah, if you know what you're doing, absolutely. And you know what, the oil's beautiful, and the great thing about it, when you distill it yourself, you can do it 2 ways. You can do it through alcohol, which is called an absolute, or you can do it through steam. So, you know, even when you do it this way with steam running through it, when you're running steam through it, basically you can then, like you may do another run, you get more new plant material, put alcohol in here at 190, and then say if this was lavender, run the vapor of alcohol through this, and now through here, totally different oil. It's lavender oil, but a lot sweeter. And then what you do is you can naturally bake that off, and you'll have just a beautiful absolute lavender oil. Totally different. Yeah, very, very nice. And if you're going to do a vape, that's the way you should do it. Not through a steam distillation. Do it through an alcohol. The absolute, because the alcohol picks up totally different notes.
Fresh material.
Oh my gosh.
Use fresh material.
Fresh material. And if you're going to do alcohol, make sure the material is dry. Naturally cured. And you can do that, and again, you do that with your, I've done a mango. I've got the myrcene from mango, and I put that in the vape pen. It increases the intensity of the high.
Wow.
Do you dry the fruit as well? So you would dry it like you were dehydrating the
Oh no,
fruit?
man, I super freeze it. Exactly the same process. So I'm catching it tight in the middle of my, of the mango.
So
Play
what do
with
you do with the mango again?
You
You
do the whole mango.
just look at nature. Look, you can take any terpene profile and make a shatter or make an oil out of it. What you see here, I can do that with strawberry, and I can put it in the vape pen and you can smoke it.
But that's what we were saying. We're saying you freeze the mango rather than dry the mango. So you
Oh
put
wow!
frozen-
Well, it's dehydrated very slowly, so you don't kill all the So you've dried it out very slowly, so you still got a lot of constituents in the mango. And then when you finally chop it up, powderize it, mix it with alcohol to a very cold temperature, and then extract that, and then filter it and winterize it, and then you can come up with a vapeable product. You can smoke mango.
There you go.
You can vape mango. You can vape strawberry. You can vape anything you want. And you put that in with your cannabis. At the end of the day, it's just you're playing with nature. So you haven't bought that from anybody. So you're smoking your garden. That's the way it should be, huh? But anyway, so yeah, so this is a great way of, here we go. So this is so simple. So most people have been, how they save their alcohol, there's some crazy ways. But you notice you can't smell alcohol in here? Well, it's not, if you can smell a little bit, it's not that much. So basically everything's contained in here because you've got your coils. So I can't take this off, but you've got coils in there cooling down the alcohol. And this is the amount of water I'm using. The water's coming out a little too warm, so I'm going to cool it down just a tad. And it uses very little water. If you don't have running water, or if you're off the grid, you can reticulate the water. So that's how much water I'm going for.
That's what I was.
Absolutely. Now, there's been some places that have bought multiples of these, like 10 of them or more. And what they've done is they've manifold these guys 10 in a row, and each one, when you condense your alcohol, every gallon produces about 100 grams. So people ask me about scaling. So if you want to scale a system like this, you can have 10 of these units in a row and reticulating every hour and a half the alcohol out, and what's left is 100 grams in a unit. So in about an hour and a half, you can render down 1,000 grams of oil. And if you do an 8 hour, so you can, so if it's a business for somebody, a finance or whatever it may be, these units are so easy to scale out. So easy. You don't need to spend tens of thousands of dollars to scale up. These are so simple. It's just refrigeration and then just remove everything. Save yourself a lot of money.
What temperature is that operating during?
On now, okay, it's operating at 174.
So we could do that with rotovaping too.
Oh, absolutely. And even if I had to, the next unit that's coming, even if you just introduce a little bit of that, there's many ways of knocking it down and keeping the terpenes down as well. It's about creating different temperatures at different heights inside the unit. So there's different condensing happening. So you're just allowing certain volatiles to go off and keeping terpenes in it. So there's many ways of. Look, a lot of people don't like cooking their plant because they think it sends it darker or whatever it may be. I think to get the added benefit, especially if you're baking, it's got to be decarboxylated. It has to be, because some of these vape pens don't cook hot enough. So when it's vaping, you're actually not causing that change reaction. Yeah, it's amazing. So you're not really getting the whole benefit of that smoke. So you're wasting all that money. So if you're doing a CO2 or a BHO where it's done through those temperatures, they're putting it into those vape pens as a THCA product. You've still got the carbon in there. So sometimes if those pens don't get hot enough, this is what people are saying, they're hitting it 8 times before they're getting started. They're not getting the full benefit of the material. So I'm not saying it's due to the guy that's running the CO2 machine, but sometimes you don't get these above 180 degrees Fahrenheit. It's not doing it. Some of them don't. They're all coming from China. So anyway, and so what happens here? Even if you vape this and it's fully decarboxylated, so when that vapes, that's getting into your system as a product that's gone from the THCA to a THC. That's why doing this process, the effects are longer and you don't need much of it. So it's not the way I do my extraction, it's just decarboxylated. So everyone in the CO2 world now is probably going to go running out now, fines, will be up there fine. Because you hear it all the time, people are smoking CO2 and they smoke a lot of it. Great for business. So we're going to check this out now, guys. We're going to pour another one through here, and I'm going to show you what this does. So okay, so what we're going to do, you're going to see a little bit of alcohol come out of this, and it's going to be a lot darker. A lot darker. So, same alcohol, second pull. And I'll probably increase my darkness twice. So it means I may have picked up a little bit of chlorophyll, but I definitely picked up more THC. And there we have it. So much darker, guys. So it's same alcohol, got a lot more resin, you save yourself money. And you get it's less cooking. And if you choose to, you can you don't have to even cook this down. Because you haven't used all that much alcohol, you can just naturally evaporate that, and then you've got a product that's a THCA. So that means if you have a child that has a medical card or whatever, and they have seizures, you can actually do a product like this that's non-activated. So a child can eat it and it won't get high.
So that sample of Harlequin you have in that jar, that was rated naturally 150 milliliters?
Yeah, that'll be A-OK for someone like a child that has seizures, especially the Harlequin, absolutely beautiful.
How long would it take to naturally evaporate?
I can't tell you how I do it, but yeah, there's other ways of doing it. Yeah.
Okay.
We can talk offline. We'll talk from
Right.
But there's ways to speed up the process.
Okay.
Yeah, so you're not, because what you need, it's all temperature and light that you don't want. You want to lock them out, and then we'll go through it. So easy, man. You can do as much as you want. You can do it by trays. it's good that you're talking like that because there's probably a lot of people out there that need a product like that. A full plant. And then, so I was saying before about manifolding this, so if you want to go through lots of plant material, easy to manifold. All you're doing is just hooking up a hose system. Great thing about this system is you've got nothing under pressure or over pressure. I mean, it's just so simple. And the good thing about it, you can extract any oil you want. So you can just imagine how many herbs and spices that you've thought about distilling or buying your oil from, and then doing it. Before putting it in your pan, find out what the oil constituent is, because there's a lot of oils out there that are poisonous. Sorry about that. Okay, so we've got that there. Has anyone got any questions? I'm going to show you some cards too, guys, and maybe this will help explain what I've been talking about. But I'm going to show. Okay, one-to-one. I'm going to show you a card that's a one-to-one. Pretty much a one-to-one. It's like you'll see the counts of THC and CBD. One-to-one meaning that whatever the count of the THC is to the CBD, they're pretty much lined up the same, which is usually one-to-one. So then, if you're looking at a card like this, then you'll see the number of THC very high and the CBD very low. So what we're doing is this is going to be predominantly more of a nighttime medication, like the knocking out. And I should show the cannabis as well, shouldn't I? Okay, that's one there as well. Like the same one. Okay, this was for somebody else as well. As you can see, the CBD, yes, that's more of a 3-to-1, 2 to 3-to-1. And then what that one was for is you've got to understand that CBD alone just doesn't work by itself. It needs its sister component as well, because they both work together. So if you look at CBD, if you've got some THC in there, they say that when THC is present with CBD, it acts, they say like 4 times, it acts as a, what do they say? It's an anti-inflammatory. Yeah, so if you look at most people over the age of 40, every problem we have is anti-inflammatory. I mean everything. I mean joints. You look at the amount of inflammatories in your system that you're working your bones, and I tell you, mixing those two components together, and I've been playing with it for at least 6 months. I guarantee that CBD should not be by itself. It needs to be incorporated with high and low doses of THC to get that full synergy effect. So, and there's research coming out that's going to be proven too. So this one here, I would say this is a very strong one. Now the strength here. Now I'm going to show you a very low one. Now I'm going to show you the difference of what happened. So if we go to very low count, which would be this here, you've got 49% THC. The reason is because you've got a lot of plant material still left in there. So when you look at the very fine oil to here, this one's got more plant waxes and chlorophyll and everything. And what we're doing is we've decreased the amount of THC involved in it. So to get a very high THC like you see there, what is it, 93 point?
It's 85.1.
One in the total of the cannabinoid count?
Of the minerals, 93.8.
93.8. So the reason it's 93.8 is because we've removed most of the other constituents that don't make up that THC. So you really cut out a fine window, and you do that through different temperatures with just winterizing. Not expensive money, just coffee filters and patience. And then you can take up the smoke into your 90s easy. Just patience, just a little bit more time.
Okay.
Yeah. So, and it's good that you can play around with daytime, nighttime medication. More CBD in the day. Because if you get a true CBD count, if you smoke CBD in a day, it's more of a, it's more uplifting. It's like get up, go stuff, and then if you smoke too much of CBD, you can have the reverse effect. And then when you get home, just, I don't know, put some THC to it, whatever.
Have you heard anything on how effective the THCA, CBDA for cancer treatment on a cancer cell? So THCA versus THC. Because a lot of people I'm running into, they get discouraged by trying to go through cancer treatment with the THC because they just get so annoyed, and it's hard for them to try to build up that tolerance.
Oh, yeah.
So could we just leave it in THCA? They're not getting 50
Well,
it still has the same effect on the cancer cell?
Well, absolutely. Look, well, why don't you just do a total reversal and give them a product that's 80% CBD and 70% THC. So you can give them a high dose of it, and then, yeah. Look, there's many ways you can do it. Like you can give them like the harlequin here, and activate the harlequin, and then do another product next to it, and you'll have a quarter of that weight non-activated and mix it together. So you then decrease the psychoactive effect, and you've increased the CBD count. So now you've got CBD and CBDA. So I don't know, man. I mean, just, you know, yeah, it's a really important thing because a lot of people don't like that knocked-out effect.
Oh, yeah.
Especially when it gets those, when it gets them. I understand. You know, the 11-hydroxy, I'm telling you, it gets in your system and it fucks you up. It trips you out. Hey, man, I've done some big mistakes and I've been fucked up for days. I definitely take heed, man. That's why my heart goes out to people that have been diagnosed with their medication, like they've had a cookie and they've been wiped out. Totally wiped out. It's scary. And, you know, sometimes when someone's sick, they'll even touch that shit again. And that's what's so fucked up.
It's scary.
It scares them off, man.
Some people think they die.
That's why dosage is so important. And it's funny you brought that up because I went around last week picking up certain people's product, testing it out, and some of the product out there is bullshit.
Plumber higher than they got.
Oh fuck no, just totally not doing what they're saying. There's someone saying it's this and it's not even that. I can't say anything yet. So if they don't have to do their product, I'm gonna all let everyone know. I got no time for that shit. Because some people buy product because they don't want to get high. Someone bought this product and got wasted. They have a child, they're a mother, and I mean, when you're buying a product that's non-psychoactive and you take it home and eat it, it fucks you up all night and the rest of the day. It's terrible.
Yeah, we ran into people growing Harlequin.
Yep.
And it had more THC, like 14% CBD totally instead of like,
yep.
And I don't know how many rounds they grew, but I was the first guy that tested their stuff. And I said, hey, this isn't the strain you want Harlequin, so keep in mind that. So they could go in the store. Label Harlequin deal, and it's high THC and all those.
Yeah, look, mate, it's pretty terrible. I just think, you know, I don't know, like saying it should be policed or anything. We should police ourselves, you know. And assholes like that are out there, mate, you know.
Well, and these weren't purposeful assholes. These were just, hey, I got a clone, it's labeled Harlequin, all the tests say Harlequin, it's like, you know.
If you actually look at it, though, the Harlequin genotype has the potential to make a high CBD, but if you look at the analytics, like if you sprout 8,000 Harlequin seeds, on average, you may get 40% that are CBD rich compared to a low THC component. Now with the CBD, once you breed it and take that down the line, you can actually increase that. Some of the foundational strains, particularly Harlequin, not all phenotypes within that particular strain possess that, so you have to get the cut that is the phenotype that has that ratio you're looking for. Now if you go into Cannatonic, it's more consistent. You probably get 80% out of a large seed grind having a CBD-rich cannabinoid profile. But if you look at where people have worked it a little further down the line with the ACDC, which is a derivative of Cannatonic, it's been stabilized. It's a lot like when we started growing autoflower strains. We thought it was recessive. It was hard to get something autoflower. 7 generations later, now you can't get it to quit doing that.
Oh wow, you serious? So it's actually so it reorganizes the genome.
Yes, and it's really it's not that it's reorganizing the genome. Part of the genome is what's called epigenetic traits.
Yep.
And because your genes are like a series of switches, like an equalizer, and at the end of it, there's a big series of light switches that aren't even activated that can get turned on or turned off.
Wow.
It can have beneficial or deleterious effects. And that's like what you see with inbreeding of complex mammals. And when you see it with plant material, like when somebody says, oh, I've got a mother that's worn out because you've been taking a cutting and it's swapped around.
Yep.
Stress leads to those epigenetic traits being turned on and the good ones being turned off. So you can get all kind of problems come out then. But that's kind of away from what you were originally talking about, but just letting you know.
No. What you talked about, no, it's actually, that's wonderful that you brought that up, man, because then you can say, would life change even the 3-letter programs within the genome or within the active components of the plant? Like if I just say hypothetically, everything comes from cannabigerol, and it breaks down to the THC and CBD and all the rest of it. So through what you're saying, have you seen through your study that even those effects through light or growing environment, does it change that plethora of effects like THCV or CBD or
100%.
CBN?
It's not really about how that crop was cultivated, but it's in the care and the stress on the genetic material that you're drawing from, like the donor plant material.
Yep.
And this has been observed for over 100 years. In greenhouse horticulture, when you look at like orchids, because the flavors and the colors they're wanting to get out of a particular orchid varietal that they have to try, even though you have that type of orchid, you may not be able to get to exhibit those same qualities. That's an epigenetic trait. It has to be turned on through positive care and a stable breeding and production program. And the same thing takes place with the cannabis plant, where somebody gets you a cutting, they put a bunch of them in a car, they bring them over to your place, you're in a new environment, that plant's stressed out. It's not going to produce all of its most beneficial products, but once it stabilizes, and in horticulture what they do is tissue culturing, which is beyond cloning, where they can take a small amount of that plant and actually propagate out from there. And what that does is reset any epigenetic traits that have been flipped on from stress. And it doesn't always do it the first time. You have to kind of cycle it back through. Because just like many problems...
Can you see that? Like, is there a visual effect or...?
Yeah, on the plant's development, the yield and the analysis, you'll get it from there. You'll see it. Right. And just like most problems, you don't get there quickly, so you can't get back from it quickly. It's not going to happen that first time. You got to keep working it, like what you're talking about with the temperature.
Very. It's a delicate in and out. So getting back to what you're saying then, so in your time of growing, do you see that the environment does play a part in the peaks and troughs of those 3 letters? Like the plethora of the 3 letters. Like if you look at, this is what I like about the Durban poison, THCV is huge. I mean, you get it to 10%, even higher in South Africa. So
see, even higher in South Africa in its native region, where the epigenetic traits for those positive benefits will all be turned on, and none of the deleterious ones will be turned on. So you want the good ones switched on, the bad ones switched on. It's like closing that window.
Yeah. See, there you go. That's beautiful. Okay. So with that environment in South Africa, so what I'm getting to is it the environment of the heat, the soil type, and the environment, does it play that effect on the plant itself? Like, is it changing the 3-letter outcome?
Yes.
So that means if I took that environment from South Africa and put it in a room with the Durban poison, would you get that true synergy effect like where it was grown?
No, you won't. Because in the indoor environment, you'll never replicate it well enough. The best you can do, and especially with Durban, I've done this before.
I think it's a beautiful plant.
With Durban, we were doing that back in Mississippi, because if you look at because the Durban, that's where it came through. It's really from the Transkei region. It's the east of South Africa, I believe. And so it's at 32 south latitude, Well, we took that, and actually, when I was working at the farm at the University of Mississippi, we were a legal farm way before medical. And what we were doing was taking those genetics. We were at 32 north latitude. And so we could take the genetics from 32 south latitude and grow them in a light climate with light rainfall at the just opposite latitude, and we would get the same effects of like the Durban out of its home environment. But we take it into the, a university indoor grow space, everything dialed in, replicating that same climate won't work. There's something magic about outdoors. You could maybe trick it by expanding the band of latitude that you could do that for with a hothouse, greenhouse, high tunnel, whatever you need. But when you go to a completely synthesized indoor environment, you're always going to have the limiting reagent of that is not the sun. And the horizontal airflow is always going to be limited, even if you just stack a bunch of fans in there, because it's not going to be varied. The plant wants that varied wind and the other components.
And what about the insects that cause certain things to turn on to make a certain terpene to send the bug off? I mean, Jesus, it's all nature. Sometimes some of those notes may come through trying to protect itself, I'm sure.
And the indoors is just a trick. The best you can do is just stick to the standard protocols of indoor growing and keep things even, stable, and find what varieties do good in your particular indoor farm. But really, as far as tricking something like it's in its native environment, the closest I've ever came is just flipping north to south on the latitudes.
Oh, it says a lot, doesn't it? Yeah, it says a lot, I'm telling you. So you've grown a lot of Durban poison?
Yes, particularly back in the south. Once I moved up to Humboldt County there, it was just completely overtaken by OGs, sour diesels, and derivations thereof. There just wasn't the market demand, because if you're going to sell weed legally in the state of California through the medical market, there's only a few things that the customer will consistently buy, so you can't base a farm on it.
But isn't it interesting? Because just come out now, THCV is amazing. If I just wait to see what happens to THCV is what actually encourages the hallucinating effect of marijuana. So if you smoke a really true Durban poison and someone's made a good oil that replicates that flower, when you smoke that, you'll have that effect. It's just something about that THCV, and Durban poison is huge. And they're just now, all the studies they're finding out now, that they're finding the receptocytes in the brain, but they're saying it adds another dimension to the hallucinogenic. So I'm not saying this. It may be alleviating for people that may need that.
Stress.
Absolutely. And just some of the properties of THCV, man, is so, I think the research needs to look at more details of the plant. THCV is huge. I mean, bone marrow, just everything. It's got a flora. And, absolutely. I mean, just some of the things we know about this plant is just nothing.
And really, most of those benefits will come out much more pronounced in the hot spots. Transkei region of South Africa, Hindu Kush Valley, the highlands of Mexico, places like that. And the hills of northern Kentucky, in the U.S., Humboldt County, it's nice, but the hills of northern Kentucky, if I had to say out of all the marijuana that I've ever consumed in my entire life, indoor, outdoor, greenhouse, no matter what country, is outdoor grown in the hills of northern Kentucky from strains that have been bred there since the 60s.
Okay, so is it because it's been there that long, it's actually become part of the environment? Okay, rainfall, wind, sunshine.
In the proper elevation, high enough, with enough of that clay mineral content, the soil you get in the southeast. Most of the southeast has that nice clay mineral content, like South Africa does as well. Also, are not arid. There's no wind, and the humidity is so high you don't get the resin development. Is in part a defense mechanism to dry air. And that's why horizontal airflow of air less than 60% humidity is critical. And so in that northern hill region of Kentucky, you get kind of a sweet spot where the elevation, arid wind, clay soil, right amount of heat, cool enough.
Like making a fine wine. Absolutely beautiful. It's no different to make a fine wine, starts in the soil and the surrounding ground.
Yep.
Yeah, So true. So it is, like in all the time I've done the oil, I've always said this, that it's now coming down to the grower. I see such a dramatic change in all the oils that I do, and it is definitely the grower. Because there's a gentleman who comes overseas to grow here for 5 months and he goes back to his native country. But his stuff, every time that I do an oil from his plant material, I mean, it's crystal clean. I have to do hardly anything to it. And everything's organic. I don't know what he does, but you see such a dramatic change, and even the counts of oil of weight per plant. It's crazy. So it's the grower. I don't care what anyone says. Shit oil, shit grower. They use chemicals. I've seen this many times. Dark oil comes from people that use synthetics, petroleum-based products.
The wrong way. Or
Wrong way, absolutely, because it's all about purging. And that's another great thing. Purging is huge. And if you're going to use alcohol, you need to purge the shit out of the plant.
And not just purging, if you're going to use chemicals, just touching. There's no sense in
Yeah, hammering with it. Yeah. Isn't that interesting?
Touching.
Yeah. Isn't that interesting?
Less
so
the purge.
So you're not flooding it, and you're not creating a plant that's independent. It's actually, it still has to work for it. It's not like it's in nature.
just little bursts.
Yep. Yeah, it's interesting. Oh boy, I'll tell you what, that's a good train of thought. I'm going to see what's happening with this here. Let's go and have a look. Actually, before you guys come with me, I'm just going to check to see if it's actually started. So that's a good train of thought. Here we go, guys. This is the new one. Okay, I'm just going to show the guys. Here we go, guys. This is what we just did. This is the Harlequin. Again, it is for those that can't see. It's a 21.7 THC, 0.2 THCV. It's funny we're talking about that. CBD, we've got 50.6. So this is a real good CBD count. For those that have got back troubles, inflammation. Look, this is a beauty. Then we've got CBC, which is a beauty, and then we've got CBG, cannabigerol, which is 1.7. So this has got a big synergy effect. There's a lot of good stuff in this plant. So here we have it. I'll show you guys. So there you go. So that's it. You can put that in the vape can, and that's what you have. So simple. To finish up here, we'll have a look at what we've got. So I'll bring this over to the camera. Here we go, guys. Have a look at this. This is what winterization does. So you remember what this looked like before, and this is what it looks like now. So you see that we've run it twice. Through there it's darker and getting golden. So if I run that once more, I get it finer again, and when I put that through a coffee filter or one micron, we'll have a beautiful see-through gold material. And there we have it. So, there we have it. Just out of that shitty plant material. Okay, it's all temperature, guys. All temperature. And I'll show you the filter as well. That's all the crap in the filter. I don't know if you can see that. That's all the chlorophyll, the fine material. You may have some constituents, plant waxes, fats, and whatnot. So, colder, the more you lock up. Cold, and that's why it's. I used to do some extractions very high in the mountains. So you know when you get up high in the mountains, and it's always naturally -30 out there. It's great. You can do all this outside. So if you ever do a large amount, go and rent out a cabin one weekend, take everything up there in -30, and you've got such a beautiful environment to do it in. You don't need a fridge. Just some really good clothing. Yeah, lots of humps. So anyway, so you got any questions? Anything? Oh, another thing too. Here, I want you to try some of this, and just to let you guys know, just before I finish up. Jesus Christ! I want you to try some of this. We've I got a product coming out soon, guys, and it's going to be a CBD only. So you can buy this from anywhere around the country and overseas. It's going to be a relief product. It's going to be 99.8% CBD, no THC, and that means it can be shipped anywhere in the world, and even to my great country in Australia. So all you guys out there. But anyway, so CBD is coming out, and for those that live in Washington that do have a medical license or whatever, you can get this as well here in Washington, activated, and it's coming out in the 502s as well. And it's going to be, it's the 502. It will be coming out in the next couple of weeks, and it's going to be a massage oil and an oil like this, and I think I'm not sure how many milligrams in it, but it's fairly strong. We're doing a strong one and a light one, and a massage oil. And we're going to be doing that psychoactive and then a non-psychoactive. But anyway, so that's it, guys. So
And you'll
keep
be
an eye.
selling them here, or?
No, I'll be setting up some sort of website, and who knows, guys.
Okay,
Yeah.
website is
But
good.
anyway, just put some on you. That's a deep relief. It's again, now that is activated. So if you have not an open wound, that can't go in an open wound, but if you have like a tension, or if you've got swelling, fibromyalgia, it just relieves.
My finger is small.
Yeah, well, that's it. You just rub it on there. It's pure, and you'd just be amazed on how it just undoes tension. And this is the most important part about this, because you need to easy. So basically, there's an endocannabinoid system, and the endocannabinoid system everybody has, and not every doctor knows about. Actually, they learned it at the beginning. I won't go there, but anyway. The endocannabinoid system is throughout the body, and when you rub a CBD or a THC on your body, what's happening is a communication between that plant material and your system inside. And the endocannabinoid system is throughout there, so if you have irritation, swelling, pain, plant material and your system works synergetic together, and somehow we organise it. More research is being done on it. Just do more research on it. Endocannabinoid system. Go and check it out.
So when you just have an order from your website, right?
Yep. So that's it. Yeah, everyone rubs one to stuff. It's great. And you can make this as well. It's so easy. Absolutely easy. And anyway, so that's it, guys. So I'm going to pack up. I don't know if it's 2 o'clock. It's probably past 2 o'clock. Am I over 2 o'clock? Oh yeah, did you get it all? It's temperature. Temperature. It's so simple. And you can do this with any plant. This is what's so much fun. I mean, from eucalyptus to frankincense, myrtle,